Hello and welcome to Cadiz, or Cadiz as the Spanish call it.
It's great to be back in the water again after nearly a month in Bruce's yard in Faro, where we got lots of maintenance done. It was very good value, about €12 a day and €400 for the lift.
Yes, I did some videos of the little projects we did as well, which you can find on Tech Corner, so do check those out.
Meanwhile, I hope you enjoy this next episode. It's our sailing trip from Faro down here to Spain. Coming up, the beautiful island of Culatra. Faro has an impromptu overhaul. And sailing into the night with the wind behind us. We begin this journey in the Algarve and the beautiful anchorage of Algarve. It's a quiet, peaceful bay with a cool evening breeze. Excellent for kite surfing. Our next stop is a little different. Albufeira is party town, well into the evening sundowners. The next day, its hatches open to cool the boat. It is officially hot. Our plan is to find our way up the lagoon to Faro and then take Faro out of the water while we go back to England for a couple of weeks. It means navigating through some quite shallow water. But first, we have to get through the entrance.
So you can see we're just skirting around the edge of this shallow bit here. It's not too shallow for us, it's just that if it's rough weather or the wrong time of the tide it can get rough in there, but it's okay at the moment. So I'll cut the corner a little bit, pick up this leading line and then come in to our nice little lagoon area there. We'll probably anchor somewhere up here.
It was a bit of a shock being greeted by the police, but it was just to make sure we missed the barge laying cables. Phew. Then a beautiful evening with just the wildlife. It's a beautiful morning. We are going through the nature reserve on our way up to Faro, where we're going to have the boat lifted. It's absolutely glorious. I mean, when we come back after doing the maintenance, I think we want to stop here for a couple of days, don't we? And just take the dinghy out and just have a look around. It's lovely. We've got little beaches all over the place, little boats, people doing fishing. Meanwhile, we're on our way to buoy number 23. It's quite a difficult navigation to get into the yard, so they're going to come out and meet us and guide us in. And there it is, buoy 23.
The other side fenders and rope.
The escort is essential. The river is quite wide, but not very deep.
This is properly shallow now. It really is just a tiny, tiny stream. It's amazing there's enough depth for us. So we're following the boat, just staying dead in the middle, showing 0.2 under the keel.
It's an ideal spot for our flight home.
Just a bit of prep then before we lift. I'm just going to flush through the loos here with a bit of fresh water. Don't really want to leave the salt water in there the whole time. A bit of fresh water through, and actually, because you might want to actually get up for a wee in the night, I can turn this through now so that it's on the tank, on the black water tank, rather than going straight to the outside. So that means if you have to use it in the middle of the night, you can.
I'm always nervous at this point. You never know what you'll find below the waterline. But all is well. In fact, she looks quite good. And because we're going away, we cover her up to protect her from the sun. A week later and Steve is flying back. Lots of general maintenance to do. Mixing the gel coat, painting the prop, and really important, changing the anodes. There's more of how to do that in Steve's technical corner. Oh yes, and the antifouling. Works fast, that man. Beautiful. Thanks, Steve.
So all done, 2 weeks work spread over a month really, with a couple of trips back to the UK. It's a good way of doing it because it's much harder work than you think. I mean, just doing the top sides took 2 days, and up and down the ladder probably 1,000 times to do that. I remember the first time that we had Faro out of the water was in Holland, and I thought, well, 3 or 4 days we'll get it done. No chance. I think if you double the size of a boat, you can at least quadruple the size, the time that you'll take to do things. It's just the square footage, I suppose. But yeah, we're there. The other thing about yards is that they're dusty, dirty places. It's not really a nice place to be. So that's my last job now. Is I'm going to get all the dust and dirt off the decks before Judy comes back tonight. We've got a day then to have a little explore around Faro, which I haven't really managed to do so far.
The chart shows the whole area around the marina as being on dry land. At low tide, you can see why. It's a 5-minute walk into Faro. It really is a lovely town. Next day, it was back to work. First, revive the dinghy. Oh, it's like a dead body. Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. I've had enough. I did eventually manage to blow it up, but first I went for a trip around the marina. Some of the boats have been in Bruce's yard for years. Really. This is a house. What we all have in common is we're working on our boats. The crew from One Last Adventure is going for a whole refit.
We're just making it up as we go along.
Well, I saw you this morning watching YouTube videos. They're brilliant, aren't they?
Oh, they're amazing. Amazing. I could not survive without YouTube. I cook with YouTube. I do everything with YouTube.
We started last year. We knew she needed re-rigging, but we thought we'd get at least 1 season out of her, hopefully 2. But a week after we launched, we had a rigging failure, didn't we, on the mizzen mast. So we decided to come back and re-rig her. So how old is she? 47?
47.
So the boat's 47, okay.
And the rig's 27.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can see why it needed doing then.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's less than an hour to go before our relaunch. So have you done the other, there's 4 of them, were there? 4 posts?
6.
You had to, 6?
6 posts.
Okay.
So we do one now, we leave it for 10 minutes, you get another coat on there.
Excellent. That gives us time to touch up on the parts where the blocks on top of the stands have been holding up the boat. We saved a bit of paint for that.
Got a few last minute jobs to do. One of those, if you had watched the technical video that we did on the lift, was that I couldn't find my grease nipples to do the prop, so just doing that now. It's one of the things about a boat, you just lose things all the time no matter how careful you are. You have to be quite anal about where things go. And actually I've got an app called What's on My Boat, which is quite good because you can take a picture of everything where you put it. It just gives you a whole list, and you can search it, then find out where things are. But obviously it's only as good as the information you put into it, and I didn't put the very safe place that I put my grease nipples into the system, so I just couldn't find them. So Judy's brought some out so we can finish this off.
Paint dry, prop clean, it was time to go sailing. The yard makes sure you get out safely by guiding you through the shallow bits, but then for us it was back to Culatra and a night at anchor. First, Farrell needs a wash.
The teak are good wet down, it's the best thing for it. It's dried out a little bit in the month that we've been sat in the yard. It's had a bit of fresh water on it, but nothing like a good bit of salt water for the teak. It does it good. Doesn't do anything else good, but it does that good. And look, the lovely spot we're in, that's Culatra over there, all Heo to that side. There's a big national park here, this big lagoon, and the other side of those sand dunes at Culatra is the ocean and some nice beaches. So we'll have a little look over there tomorrow. It's the weekend, so I think all Portuguese will come down, but it's it's not somewhere you can get to by land. You can only get to it by boat, so don't get too busy.
Now this is the moment I've been looking forward to and dreading. Our outboard isn't that reliable. Remember Steve mending it at Dartmouth? Well, we haven't really tested it since then. Right, so how's the engine?
Well, it's not 100%. I've got it going. Good news is we're going upstream, and so if it all goes wrong, we'll just be coming with it on the way back.
Okay, come on, let's go.
No, let's actually get started first.
Okay.
Come on, little engine.
Wow, first time. So what is wrong with it? Is it just not pumping through?
I think it's slightly lean because it's it works better with the choke slightly out, but then you've got to really fiddle with it.
Or maybe not. Well, there's Fair Isle. We're getting ever closer. At least the tide was helping us drift back. We must have looked as sad as we felt, because just as we're getting the oars out, a welcome offer of help. Thank you to our rescuer. What's your name?
Wang is my name.
Wang. Thank you.
That's it. That's it. Perfect.
Going to hold it.
No, it'll stay there. It's not going anywhere.
There's something about boats that makes people kind. Thank you.
It seems like fuel starvation. Let's see if it is. Plugs out. A little bit of a injection. Looks like that's the culprit. Kink in a fuel line. That'll do it.
Hey!
Magic.
Look at that. Take the plaudit.
Well, not really, because it was my fault in the first place that it was kinked.
I so hate this boat. Sorry.
Let's go then.
And now I love our little dinghy again. At last, we're heading to the beach.
Yeah, well done, little engine. Made it in the end.
No, it's busy, just needs to be tended.
Scilly Isles, but warmer.
And because it's the weekend, it's party time. Now this is calmer. Just as we get back on the boat, we spot two men rowing a dinghy. Well, we know just what that feels like. And Steve gives them a tow to shore.
Okay, Sunday morning, so we're on our way a little bit further down the coast. We're just going to pull up the anchor. I did go back to bed after those dawn shots we did this morning. It was lovely though. But you can see we're anchored here in the national park. It's tidal, so you will be swinging one way and another, so you've got to be a little bit careful with your anchorage. So I want to show you my anchor alarm, which is in here. And you can see it's this one here. It's called Anchor. I've tried a few different ones, but I like this one because, well, for a few reasons, but one, it gives you these different colours as at different times, so you can sort of see where you've been. So the anchor is here, and actually when you come to anchor, it's always too much to do to drop it in exactly the right place. So the good thing about this is you can reset it when you know where it is. I mean, obviously you can see here, don't know quite what happened here. Must have been a bit of a wind and a strong tide pulled us out a little bit further, but basically the anchor's in the middle of that, and as the tide swings, it brings us backwards and forwards across that bit. And we've been here for, what, 2 days and a night, so there's quite a bit of movement there.
We had a good breeze heading to Spain, so we kept going and sailed through the night to Cadiz, remembering to put our clocks forward an hour. We reached an anchorage next to the American naval base at dawn.
And we're still here at anchor just outside the American naval base, which is across the bay from Cadiz.
Yeah, we're much more relaxed now. We've been here for a week, but we are going to get moving quite soon. Our next stop is Gibraltar, and then we're going through into the Med, where it is seriously hot, and I might go swimming.
Well, you haven't actually been swimming once. I've got a picture. I know you did it.
Yeah, okay, a bit more swimming.
I have a swim pretty much every night off the boat here. It is warm.
I think about it.
But yes, we're looking forward to the Med, and I'm looking forward to Gibraltar actually. Gibraltar is somewhere I've never been, and I think summer's going to be really interesting, so I'm looking forward to filming that. So please do watch the next episode, and remember to subscribe and hit that little bell to get your notifications.
And let us know what you think.